Hey, everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Widener Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Widener Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Widener Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and Aliens. So grab your copy today of Girls Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Widener Show at themikewidenershow.com and over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple Music, and more. Take the Mike Widener Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Widener Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Widener Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Widener Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, and more. Amazon.com and check out the Mike Widener Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also cool merchandise, T-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, phone cases, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check it out today. Also support the Mike Widener Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, the MikeWidenerShow.com with your donation. Also, you can also buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com at the Mike Widener Show. Make sure you do so today. We're here with a terrific group based out of Minnesota, and they're a paranormal group. They're spirit hunters, and it's a small group of paranormal investigators who travel the country in search of paranormal activity and helping spirits accomplish their mission and put minds at ease since 2020. They're in a business to help. We'll talk about that. They're streaming on Minnesota Spirit Fest and also the Parapost Network, the Minnesota Spirit Cast. They've been seen on the Don Vick Show and many others. And you can also get more information. They can share stories and how they got started and everything. And live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studio somewhere in Minnesota, we've got a big group here. We've got Gabrielle Lesko, Ryan Troiber, and Cara Troiber, Marcus Well, and Rochelle Walters. They just call themselves the Minnesota Spirit Hunters. Guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Hello. We're glad to have you guys on. This is probably the biggest meeting I've had so far on the Mike Widener Show. And I guess some other spirits are probably coming in too. So if any spirits are out there, feel free to join in. So you guys are a small group of paranormal investigators who travel around the country in search of paranormal activity and helping spirits accomplish their mission and put mind to ease since 2020. You're streaming on the Minnesota Spirit Cast and also the Parapost Network, and you have been seen on the Don Vick Show and quite others. You guys are scattered around Minnesota, but you guys meet on a regular basis, and you guys do some investigations and come together as a group, and you guys all bring something to the table. We have Rochelle, Gabriella, Brandon, Cara, and Marcus all together. And before we, talk about the Minnesota Spirit Hunters, guys, tell us how you guys first got started.
Awesome. Well, as founder of Minnesota Spirit Hunters, it's actually not very complicated. I owned 2 paranormal companies before Minnesota Spirit Hunters, and back in 2020, I was doing a YouTube channel, and I had a lot of interest in supernatural, paranormal, all of that. So we got together with a group of friends, nobody here when I first got started, but I got together with a group of friends, and we decided to take it to a more realistic basis and kind of a little more reality. And we put the team together, and after we put the team together, we started getting calls and bigger, high profile haunted places, which was super cool. And actually Gabriella was with me from almost the beginning, so she knows how much the team has escalated within these past 2 years.
And guys, feel free to join in as well too.
We've been with the team since
November, I think.
yeah, a little bit before November. I work on mostly the equipment and whatnot. I'm the guy that kind of tries to set everything up for the whole team. So
Okay. All right. And then Kara, you can also join in as well too.
I started out as just an investigator, and now I'm assistant manager, and I try to help out as much as I can to do everything.
Okay. All right. And then Gabriella, just tell us how you got started. Gabriella, okay. We're waiting for you to connect to audio, so we're waiting. Okay. We're having some problems. Gabriella, can you hear us now? Gabriella. Okay. All right. Somebody message Gabriella as well too. I think we have her connected. So okay, we
Absolutely.
don't. So yeah, somebody messaged Gabriella that she needs to turn on her mic, or she may have to join in. And Rochelle, in the meantime, tell us how you got started with paranormal and the Minnesota Spirit Hunters.
So since I was 5, I'm one of the medium, and I've seen him heard spirits since I was about that age. And a couple years ago, at first they never picked me, and then all of a sudden it kind of kept just.
Okay, Rochelle, you're breaking up. By the way, you might want to pull over into an area where you can actually get some. You can get a better reception. You can find an area to pull over. In the meantime, while Rochelle is doing that, and Gabrielle is working on some technical issues as well too. We hope to get the two back on very soon. Marcus, tell us about your first paranormal experience.
Wow, it's kind of funny because we were down in Nashville, Tennessee, and we were staying at a hotel for a little bit. And me, my mom, and my brother, who's not a baby anymore, but was a baby at the time, I'd say about 8 to 10 years ago, we were going up to the fourth floor of this motel. And the fourth floor, for some weird reason, was blocked off, and nobody was allowed to go up there. We were going up there to do laundry, and that's the only way you could go up there. However, when I was up there, this floor is completely dark. There's no lights, like all the rooms are locked and everything. We get up on the fourth floor, and my brother immediately bolts down the hallway, this dark hallway, and starts knocking on random doors.
Hmm.
And which was really funny. I'll get to that in a second, but I was standing in a laundry room with my mom, and there's this little door that brings you up to the fourth floor with a little glass compartment that you can see through. And I looked over there, and there's this guy who's wearing all orange, looked like a jumpsuit almost, and there was nobody ever going up there. Um, and I asked the people down at the front desk, I'm like, did you see this guy, up on the fourth floor wearing like an orange jumpsuit? And they said they saw nobody of the sort. And then I asked them about these rooms. I think it was room number 1 and room number 14 that my brother was knocking on. Those two rooms previously had somebody shot and killed in there.
Oh, really? Wow. What
Yes.
was it
So,
like? Was it like a crime scene or something from way back when? Or
I believe it was. I don't remember what the name of the motel was. I believe it was like a Holiday Inn or something like that.
Mhm.
But it was really weird because there were probably 26 rooms on the fourth floor. All of them were blocked off and nobody was up there, but he only knocked on room number 1 and room number 14, the two rooms that people got murdered in, which is really
Wow.
weird. Really weird.
What, really? Yeah, I'm sure that made the papers and the media or some. And when did this murder take place?
Excuse me. So I was down there in about 2000, I'd say 2008, 2009. Previously, that fourth floor had been shut down for 2 or 3 years. So I'd say maybe 2005, 2006 is when the murders took place.
Wow. Okay. And then you remember that guy in the orange suit and everything like that? What was this type of spirit, like an angel, a demon, or alien, or what type of particular spirit was it?
That's a really good question. When I saw this guy, I caught a glimpse of him because I'm like an 8-year-old kid standing there with my mom who's not paying attention because she's doing laundry. And I look over and I look through that glass and I see a normal everyday guy just peeking in the window like this, just like any of us would do.
Oh, wow.
And he just looked plain, like a plain person, and he had no glow around him or anything. He did not look like a spirit, but they said they didn't see anything on their cameras of anybody in an orange jumpsuit. So
Oh my gosh, that had to be something as well too. And
I
looks
was
like,
shaking.
oh my, I'm sure it did too. Everything, the orange jumps to things somebody getting out of
Oh
prison.
yeah.
Looks like we got Gabriella tuned in as well too. And Gabrielle, can you hear us? Gabrielle, can you hear us?
Looks like she's frozen.
Okay, yeah, looks like we'll probably have to get back to her in just a minute. And we also got Brandon and Cara with us as well too. And tell us about your first paranormal experience.
My very first paranormal experience was when I was a kid. I remember being in my mom and dad's garage, and there were a couple of different times, where my dad would send me in there to grab a tool or something like that, and I'd be standing at his toolbox, or grabbing something out of the freezer or something, that's something that my parents told me to do. And out of the corner of my eye, I would catch shadows like moving, and there were times where I would turn around, I would see a shadow across the wall. And I'm talking like 5, 6 years old, and that was my first experience.
Mm-hmm. And then how about you, Cara?
My first experience was when I was 3. We lived on land that used to be the original town of Bradford in Minnesota back in the 1800s. And so we had the post office and the mill, broken down buildings that used to be the town was in our yard. I had a friend that I couldn't pronounce her name at 3 years old. I called her Farilla. And I used to have full conversations with her and freak out my mom, and she kicked me outside, say, go play, you're freaking me out. Well, as an adult, I went back there and I found out, I did some research, and there was 2 different cemeteries that people were buried that died there during a pandemic. And I found her grave. Her name was Varilla with a V.
Okay.
Oh,
all right.
wow.
And what was that spirit like? Cara, can you hear? What was that spirit like? Describe.
Oh, sorry, you're breaking up a little bit. I don't remember what she looks like. I don't remember much about it other than I remember having conversations. I remember drawing with sticks in the sand and talking out loud to her. I don't really recollect what she looked like or anything.
Okay.
I was 3.
Okay. And then we'll go to Rochelle as well too. Rochelle, hopefully you can hear us as well too. Tell us about your first paranormal experience.
So I was about 5, and I was sitting at my grandpa and grandma's house, and my grandpa had passed on. And my grandma was in making toast and hot chocolate, and I'm just sitting there in front of the heater, and I look over at my grandpa's chair, and he just started rocking away. So I decided to go help grandma make toast. So, but it was my grandpa, so it was all good. It was just wasn't ready for it yet.
How'd you think that? How would you describe that first paranormal? What was that spirit like for you? Or describe the spirit?
Oh, it's my grandpa, so he wasn't, it was calm and peaceful. It was just grandpa.
Mm-hmm. I guess my grandpa was like that too. It's like all grandpas like that, peaceful and everything, and something unusual. Well, that's your grandpa for you. So
Right.
and Marcus, I was going to ask you as well too. What was that one precise moment that simply influenced you into what you're doing in your career as a paranormal investigator?
Well, I've always been curious with this type of stuff. I've always wanted answers. I didn't always know what I was experiencing when I did come across activity. But the one thing that made me want to actually go for it and, kind of take it on a more professional level was, I was young, I was dumb and whatever. And so we got together with a group of friends. We were hanging out and we played the Ouija board.
Mm.
Not a smart idea. Not a smart idea.
I've heard stories about that and made me think of Jumanji with that Ouija board.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now,
Wow.
one really weird thing is when we did play the board, we played the board a lot of times, and yeah, we contacted stuff, but this one time is what really set my mind off, because they say when you're in a Ouija board session and the planchette is going in like a figure eight, or it's going, going through all the letters and then goes through all the numbers and everything, that's a bad sign.
Hmm.
So, we were playing the board and it started going through all the letters. It didn't spell out anything. Then it went through the numbers and then it started going from Z to O to Z to O. Zozo is a Ouija board demon, and that's what it was
Really?
spelling. Yes.
Wow.
So, we were at a park and we were playing at this park, and on the way home, we were walking home, and one of our best friends was there with us. And she was playing board with us. On the way home, she was completely silent. She talks. I don't want to make her mad, but she talks a lot, which is not a bad thing. On the way home, she didn't say one single word.
Really?
Yeah, and so we get to another park, which is completely on the other side of the town that we're in, and then she sits down on the ground, and this is like 11 o'clock at night. It's late, it's dark. She sits down on the ground and doesn't talk. She doesn't move or anything. 5 minutes later, stands up and she says, where am I and what are we doing here or whatever? I'm like, her name's Nicole, and like, Nicole, we were at the park and we were playing the Ouija board, and after that, haven't touched it again, because some really bad things have happened with the board, and not all of them are very comfortable to talk about. It's the board is just bad. I don't like it anymore.
And you say Zozo's like the most deadliest of on the Ouija board. What are some of the other characters on the Ouija board that you guys encountered, or more common ones?
I don't know, Cara, Brandon, Rochelle. I don't know if you guys have encountered anything on the Ouija board. I'm sure you all have played it before. I don't know, but
yeah, that's an interesting question. Let's have them talk about it. But of course, myself, it's I really don't recall, in my opinion, to be honest with you. I really don't. Go ahead, guys.
I've never really used a Ouija board at all.
I won't touch it.
Okay, and then Rochelle, how about you?
I had one that I used in college in my high school years all the way through, and I always kind of protected myself when I used it, but after a while I could tell when people would go in my room and use it, because things would happen and I'd go up and I'm like, give it to me. You need to put it away and not touch it again. And they'd be like, how do you know? I said, I just know. You need to give it to me now and don't ever touch it again. And then finally I had a friend take it out and burn it because things were starting to happen.
It does sound like it too. And what was that one precise moment that simply influenced you into what you guys are doing as a paranormal, or joining Minnesota Spirit Hunters? Marcus, you gave us a really good one. And what was that one moment for you guys? What really you either join Minnesota Spirit Hunters or really get involved in the paranormal?
For me, it was I've always liked it, and my kids grew up, so I decided I could go back to it. And I kind of block my house. I use my house as my free zone as a medium, because then spirits can't really bug you. So now I've opened it back up. We've gone to some hotels where I walk out and I said, Marcus, not even funny. You need to tell me when there's this kind of spirit in there. But it's been just the last couple of years that I reopened up and started using my power, or my gift, I guess.
Okay. And then Brandon and Kara, what was that one precise moment for you guys that simply influenced you to getting involved with the paranormal and or being with the Minnesota Spirit Hunters?
I came to Minnesota Spirit Hunters because I got one of their podcasts online, and we had done our own little investigating on the side, just for fun kind of thing.
Okay.
And we came across a
Okay. All right. Looks like they're. Okay, it looks like you guys were cutting
Spirit.
out in just a minute here, but you guys were talking about hotels and everything. Is that the most common you've been going to hotels, or do you get a lot of requests to go into hotels?
And that just
Looks like she's still speaking.
gets
Okay, I think we're
Yeah, I
having some technical
can't.
difficulties, or maybe if
Sounds
Children-
like it.
children's spirits just, oh, I feel so sad for them. So I caught one of,
No.
what is going on?
Are we froze up?
okay, I think you guys probably froze as well too.
You guys hear
But
us?
okay, so why don't you go? So maybe Brandon and Carr, if you guys can just log off and maybe log back in, and we can probably get a clearer sound. We're going to take a timeout while we clear some technical issues. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@SonicWebStudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com on over 30 podcast platforms and on Hamilton Radio Network, coming soon to other networks as well. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. For great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. For great books and merchandise and more, Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check it out today. Also support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, themikewagnershow.com. You can also buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com at the Mike Wagner Show. Make sure you do so today. We're here with the group of Minnesota Spirit Hunters. We have Marcus Wall, the leader of the Minnesota Spirit Hunters. We also have Rochelle as well too, and Gabrielle. Looks like we have some technical issues. She left us for a time being, and Brandon and Kara had some technical issues. We're trying to work them get back in, and we're trying to work out some bugs as well too. Marcus, more about the Minnesota Spirit Hunters. You guys also travel around the country in search of paranormal activity and helping spirits accomplish the mission. Puts minds at ease since 2020. Tell us about some of the ventures you've been on, and how do you exactly put people's minds at ease, especially when it comes to spirits.
Well, so we've been to states like, of course, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa. Have we expanded any more than that yet, Rochelle? Just Wisconsin,
just
Iowa.
Just those 3 states, I think, right now.
Okay, so we've went to asylums. We went to museums, houses, all kinds of different places, and we are expanding the states throughout 2022 that we're going to. Putting minds at ease. Our mission is when somebody needs help. Of course, they need help for a reason. There may be a spirit bugging one person, whether it's an evil spirit or they're just annoying to this person or whatever it may be. Our goal is to simply do what we can to fulfill the request of our clients. So when we say putting clients' minds at ease, we do not leave an investigation with at least some type of answer. And if we don't have that answer, we are going to pass this case on to somebody else who will be able to help.
Mm-hmm. And what are the services you guys offer?
We offer public, private, commercial, and crossover investigations. When I say crossover, we cross people over into the light. Okay. Public would be anywhere from parks, lakes, woods, school bus, abandoned places, whatever. Private would be houses and, basically places that people own, that they live in or whatever. And then commercial, we do like businesses, we can do hospitals and retail stores, whatever we need to do. Our services are going to be extending quite big. We also do weekly podcasts for people to come on, and we allow them to get themselves out, promote themselves and all of that. But as far as investigating, we try as hard as we can to fulfill the requests of every single client that we get.
Hmm. Now, do you also get involved with the FBI or anything like that, or law enforcement? And do they ever come to you, or how often does the FBI and law enforcement ask you to get involved with a certain case as well, too, like help, like cold cases or solve murder cases that have gone cold for decades or anything like that?
No, so that would be very, very, very cool. I would absolutely love that. However, we haven't gotten any of that yet. It's definitely something that I would like to prove that we are able to do something like that.
Mhm.
But no, not yet. We haven't gotten any of that, but definitely would love to get that within our work eventually.
Okay, and looks like Brandon and Kara has joined us as well too. Looks like they're muted as well too. So Marcus, if you can just send a message that they need to turn their
Absolutely.
mic on as well too, and we're glad to have them back on here on the Mike Wagner Show. Brandon and Kara, are you still with us?
Yeah. Can you hear
Okay.
us?
Okay, looks like I think we got better quality as well too. So I just want to make sure that everybody has heard as well too, and no spirits were involved in this one. Don't worry about it. So, all right, getting back to Brandon and Kara as well too. Before we were having some technical issues. Once again, tell us about your first paranormal experience and also some of the other work you guys have done. So we can hear you clearly now. So go right ahead.
So you want to know about the first encounter we had again?
Correct. Yes.
So yours is the garage story. Go ahead.
My first experience was when I was like 5 or 6 years old. I would go to the garage to grab like a tool out of my dad's toolbox, or I would go to the freezer that we had in the garage to grab something from my mom, because she was making supper or something like that. And I would see shadows out of the corner of my eye move. Then there were other times where I would see like shadows like move across the wall. Just strange things like that. That was pretty much my very first experience.
Mm-hmm. And then Kara, go ahead.
The same story as before about the 3-year-old?
Yes, it is. And we should be able to be clear on this one too, since we have a better connection.
Okay. My first experience that I can remember, I was 3 years old and living in a house that was the location of the original town of Bradford, Minnesota. Since moved after a pandemic. They moved the whole town.
Okay.
I used to have full conversations with a friend, and my mom used to get freaked out and kick me outside to go play because she said it was like if she could hear the other side, it would make perfect sense.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
So I couldn't pronounce the letter V. I used to say F for V, so I called her Farilla. As an adult, I actually researched and found the 2 cemeteries that people from that town were buried in. And I found her headstone. She was 4 when she passed away. And her name was Varilla with a V.
Got it. Okay. And we were talking earlier as well, too, about some of the services you guys perform and some of the places you've been. And maybe you guys can share some stories, about some of the paranormal activity you guys done ever since the Minnesota Spirit Hunters, and maybe some rather unusual or more interesting ones. Especially like with solving cold cases or like with mysteries or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Brandon, Kara, I'm having trouble hearing you. So let's get. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. The camera went to Rochelle, so we thought that she was talking. Sorry.
Oh.
The biggest investigation that we've been on so far with Minnesota Spirit Hunters was the Boyd House in Boyd, Minnesota. And we had lots of activity there. We had an EMF going off to music. It was literally lighting up at the same time that the music was going off. We've had batteries drained on equipment, within minutes.
I had my walkie-talkie was the button on my walkie-talkie was ripped off, and I found it sitting on the kitchen table while I was and that happened while I was sleeping.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot going on as well too. And Rochelle, how about your more interesting story you had since being involved with the Minnesota Spirit Hunters?
So I'm not going to say the hotel, but we were in a hotel, and I walked into a room, and this lady was scaring everybody, and she's trying to lights on and off and turn the water on in the bathroom. And then she got mad at me because she found out I could see her and hear her. So she came up and stuck her face in mine, and she was half burnt, half normal. And I just told her she needed to leave, and she was just being mean. So she did that. And then we went to another level, and there was another lady there that killed herself waiting for her fiance. And she was there, and she was pregnant, and she was waiting for him. And she looked at me and she's like, "Why is everything so different? Why are you dressed so weird?" I said, "Well, this is this year." And she's like, so she didn't even know where she was and stuff. So I don't know if she fully crossed over or not that night, but at least she kind of knew where she was and what year it was finally.
And do you guys also help spirits cross on the other side? That seems to be a rather interesting point that people talk about. It's like, do you guys assist in spirits crossing to the other side?
We do. Go ahead, Rochelle.
No, go ahead, Marcus.
Yeah, we do help spirits cross to the other side. We have one coming up at the beginning of May. And I was actually gonna tell you about this. Our very first episode of Minnesota Spirit Hunters, we were helping, I'm not gonna say any names, but we were helping a family member cross to the other side. And she's not on here, but our other medium T, she was there with us. And the most beautiful thing when a spirit crossover, just that was my first ever time seeing somebody cross over. And the minute that this said person crossed over into the light, you felt more relief, and you felt like a beautiful presence, and everything was more calm. Because in the end, they're not stuck in this place anymore. They're not in distress. They're not this and that, and they're where they need to be. So yes, yeah, that is definitely one of our services.
And how about some of the more tougher cases you guys were involved in? How did you manage to solve the tougher cases you were involved in? You guys can all join in too. So
Research is probably the important thing.
Yeah, researching and making sure that you've got your equipment where it needs to be, making sure that everything's charged.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, for helping in difficult cases, researching and knowing who you're dealing with, or having an idea of what you're going against.
Okay. And then Rochelle?
Well, this one wasn't with the group, but it's kind of like crossing them over. Only I had a gentleman, he killed himself, and every time I'd see his picture, he would pop out at me and say, "You know her, you got to go tell her." So after 6 months, I finally said, "All right, I'll go tell her." And I just walked up to her and I said, "Well, I kind of see things that aren't here, right?" And she's like, "Yeah." I said, "I got a message for you." And he says, "I'm sorry, and I love you," and was something else exactly that he'd said to her. And she looked at me, she goes, "Oh my God, thank you." So she got closure. And I think that spirit finally crossed over, because now when I see his picture, he doesn't pop out at me anymore.
Wow, rather interesting. And then Matt, what are some of the more tougher cases you're involved in? How'd you solve them?
That's a really good question. I've been involved in a lot of investigations. We had one over in Anoka, Minnesota, where a person called us because her house was bugging her, certain rooms and everything. Now, we went in for a walkthrough to see what we were dealing with and what we could do. And the second that we left this walkthrough, this house was no longer available to us, because just our presence of being there was irritating for whatever was haunting this house. And that's happened quite a few times. But to elaborate on what Kara said about research is a really good thing in the paranormal field. However, you have to be very careful not to share it in front of everybody, because if you share it in front of everybody, Rochelle's going to find out, and then her, what she validates for us is no longer valid from her ability, because she already read the research and she's got clues from what's going on. And the most difficult cases that we've been in, the Boyd house, like Brandon was talking about, was a 21-hour investigation. We were all tired. Yeah, it was a long one. We were tired, we were out of energy and everything. And in a paranormal investigation, yes, you're going to get tired, but you want to try to be as alert as possible, because if spirits or whatever sense a little bit of vulnerability, they're going to take advantage of that. So
That is a good point. I seem to get that a lot, where you can't be tired all the time and everything. And what separates you guys from the rest of the paranormal hunters? Like, you guys have something very unique to bring to the table.
well, the thing is, what I think separates us from, I wouldn't say everybody, but one big thing that we all stand by is pair unity, which means in this field we are all one big family. We don't go against any other teams. We help other teams. We promote other teams. All of that. Our investigation style may be a little different, because guess what? Everybody's style is a little different. But the main thing in the field is, if somebody is doing something that you're not doing, that's their style. Do your own thing, because in the end, you're going to have different results. You may get better results, you may get crappy results, whatever. But the point is, in the field, no matter what the results are, you're still having fun doing it, and you're doing what you love. So be yourself in this field, and you'll have no problems. I guarantee.
That's really interesting. I seem to like that. And where can we guys find you at? And how do people get a hold of you if they need some paranormal activity done?
Yes, absolutely. So we are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, um, Parapost Network, MinnesotaSpiritHunters.org. That's MNSpiritHunters.org. Phone number 320-438-0191. We are on a ton of different platforms. We're expanding platforms. We can be emailed, we could be messaged. We're working on a brand new website. People will be able to contact us through our website once it's completed. So yeah, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all of those platforms, plus email, phone. And once our website's complete, we can take requests through our website.
We certainly would do so. What's coming up for the Minnesota Spirit Hunters in 2022 and beyond? We'll find out just 1 minute. And listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by SonicWeb Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mian Molson Zia Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We'll be back with the group of Minnesota Spirit Hunters after this timeout. We're back with the amazing team of the Minnesota Spirit Hunters here on the Mike Wagner Show. We have Marcus Wald, the leader. We have Brandon and Cara Troiber. And we also have Rochelle Waters as well, too. And Gabrielle had to leave because of technical difficulties. And love to have you guys back and give us updates. And what else can we expect from you guys in 2022 and beyond?
This is a fun one. Anybody want to take it away before I do?
Let's see cemeteries.
This one's going to be an interesting season for me, because I'm the one that does all the equipment, and I've got to figure out how to do equipment in cemeteries pretty much for the whole entire season.
Yeah, this is the season of cemeteries. Mike, I have a promotional banner that I'd love to send to you for season 2, and I'll do that after the show. But this is our cemetery season, and we are hitting almost 12, 13 stops within Minnesota and Wisconsin. And we're going to be busy all year long. We are filming every month. We are uploading every month. We constantly got content coming. Amazing guests coming to the Minnesota Spirit Cast this year. Bonus people I don't want to give it away because I want it all to be a surprise. So, but we got amazing guests. We got some familiar faces coming. And yes, by the end of 2022, I'm pretty sure everyone here is going to have a paranormal hangover because we have a lot of stuff going on.
Oh, I'm
So.
getting a hangover already. I need someone to get the spirits out of my head with this hangover. and who do you consider biggest influences in your careers? Take turns, guys.
Why do you guys go first?
Our biggest influence?
Yeah, I think
Biggest
my biggest
influences in your
influence.
careers.
Okay.
I think my biggest influence in this career is that I used to watch Ghost Hunters all the time with my mom and my dad, when I was little. And that show has really stuck with me, and I've watched it, throughout the years. And I think that's one of the really big things that kind of turned me towards it even more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And then Rochelle, how about you?
Well, mine kind of starts with my mom because she doesn't think she has anything, but she started it when I was very little. And then my youngest son, me and him get together, and we are both mediums. And yeah, we just walk in and we instantly just go. So it's been between my mom and my son.
And then Cara, how about you?
Inspiration for, oh, good Lord. Last minute questions. I guess family members that have passed, seeing if they're still around or if they've moved on and being able to help them if they haven't.
Okay. And then Marcus, how about you?
Some people may disagree with me here, but my biggest influence in the paranormal field is Zach Bagans of Ghost Adventures. I grew up watching Zach. I saw a lot of locations that I wanted to visit, and honestly, Minnesota Spear Hunters is inspired by Zach himself. So, yes, he is one of my influences in this field.
Okay. And what's the best advice you guys can give to anybody at this point?
Be
Teamwork.
yourself. No provoking in an investigation, because provoking can lead to a very dangerous situation in paranormal investigation. But other than that, I can honestly say investigate your own way. Do what makes you comfortable in the field and what you think will get you the best results, and just be respectful to all the spirits, because in the end, the spirits, they are still people. So we want to treat the spirits the way we want to be treated.
That's a very good point. And Rochelle, what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
I would say be respectful when you walk in. You don't want to provoke or anger on them, but at the same time, if they're in your house and you don't want them there, you can ask them to leave. Don't be rude, but you can say, I'm sorry, you're no longer alive. This is my house. Will you please leave? And sometimes you don't even want to mention the alive part, but you can always ask them to leave. They just got to be polite.
That's really interesting. And Brandon and Cara, how about you guys?
Not going to investigate anywhere by yourself. Because going by yourself, you can run into stuff that you don't want to run into just by yourself.
I've got two things that come to mind. One is, oh, good Lord, my brain just went blank. Sorry. Shoot. I had him in my head and I listened to him and then I lost it.
It's okay. I mean, you can answer it later on as well too, and I'm sure it'll come to mind here. Once again, we got the Minnesota Spirit Hunters. We got Marcus, we got Brandon, Cara, and Rochelle on the show. Guys, a very big thank you for your time. They've been absolutely terrific. Looking forward to having you again soon. Make sure you keep us up to date, keep in touch. We'd love to have you guys back. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects, what's your website, how do people contact you, and where can people check out your services and also check out your shows?
Yes. So we are on YouTube as Minnesota Spear Hunters. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and we're also on Twitch. So all kinds of social media platforms. New website underway. And we'll update everybody when that is available to the public. But season 2, Minnesota Spear Hunters, starting summer 2022. It is our cemetery season, so you're going to see a lot of public investigating, which is going to be super exciting, and some big name guests on Minnesota Spearcast throughout the year as well.
We certainly will check that out. Guys, a very big thank you for your time, Minnesota Spirit Hunters. You guys are terrific. Looking forward to having you again soon. Make sure you keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We'll glad to have you back. We wish you all the best. You guys have a great future ahead of you.
Right back.
Thank
Thank you so much for having us, man. Appreciate it.